Welcome to the delicious world of Viking ocean ships. After the success of their absolutely huge river ship fleet, Viking expanded their cruise offering into ocean cruises in 2015, and to this day have launched 6 identical ships of their own unique design, accommodating up to 930 lucky guests. In 2022 and 23, they are launching 3 more, bringing their fleet to 9, with even more planned in future years. Wow! Viking are quite unique in that all these ships, apart from a few subtle differences in interior decor, are all exactly the same. Therefore, where you eat is the same. So this complete dining guide, filmed on their newest ship at the date of recording, the Viking Venus, will apply to every ship in the fleet. So if you're a Viking guest, be it regular or brand new, this guide is relevant to you, whatever ship you choose to sail on. How simple is that? By the end of this video, you'll have a complete understanding of what to eat and where, and that's important. Dining is a huge part of any voyage, and you don't want to risk missing out on any dining highlights you might not know about before watching this video and having regrets about missing out things that may just become your new favourites. As Abraham Lincoln famously said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." That's pretty cool, but is it relevant? Well, consider this video as you sharpening your axe for the incredible culinary tree that awaits you. Or something like that. Before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll leave some links at the end for more of our lovely Viking content we guarantee will be useful, informative and entertaining for you. Thank you, and bon appetit. In no particular order, let's begin our Viking feast. We're in Mamsens today, having breakfast before we go on an excursion. And Mamsens is, well, look at the pastries. They just speak for themselves, really. Famous for their waffles, so we're going to each have a waffle. I just saw this cinnamon roll and could not resist it. We start our guide with our favourite daytime eatery on board, and surprisingly, it's the little Norwegian deli nestled in the Explorer's Lounge. The delightful Mamsens. Please pause this scene if you want to know more, but Mamsens is a venue which is very personal to the Hagen family, the owners of Viking, because the food here is from the Hagen matriarch's own private recipes. At breakfast time, this was one of our favourite places, being very quiet in the mornings. The coffee is strong and hearty, served in unique Mamsens crockery, an exact replica of Karin Hagen's great-aunt's 1970s tea set, no less. The breakfast choice is limited to 3 types of traditional Danish pastries: oatmeal, herring, berries, and the signature family recipe waffle dish, which is made to order and personalised as you wish, with the option to have them served with the traditional brown goat's cheese, an acquired but interesting option, or just berries and chocolate sauce, which I guess is not so traditional. At lunchtime, Mamsens can become a little busier than breakfast time, with a range of delicious hot and cold open sandwiches available, including beef tartare, cured salmon and Atlantic shrimp. There is also a daily soup option, which stays on the menu as a late-night snack, along with a cured meat and flatbread board for guests with the midnight munchies. There are a range of traditional cakes and cookies to delight the sweet-toothed among us, with intriguing names such as Success Cake and Prince's Cake, alongside a delicious apple cake. Cakes remain available for most of the afternoon and are joined by some lovely little fruit tarts. As you are in the Explorer's Lounge, there is table service available, and the servers within the whole of the lounge will bring you snacks from the deli whenever you desire, wherever you are seated. Because the weather is grey, but it's not dampening our spirits, because we have cakes, well, from Mamsens. They're not cakes, this is a like a beautiful little raspberry tart, and this is it's like waffle, but they make them really thin. They're called biscuits. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to dip those in some chocolate. So the food is rustic, but oh so delicious. The setting is magnificent. What more could you wish for? Yep, our clear favourite. It may seem like I'm doing the dining guide in reverse, showing the smaller venues with the lighter meals first. Well, that's because I am, so there. The Wintergarden is an elegant conservatory-style venue located at one end of the gorgeous central pool area, featuring a canopy of Scandinavian trellised wood, filtering sunlight through its lattice of branches. Sylvan water features and crystalline statues give an overall relaxing feel of a forest glade. Well, a glade with luxurious lounge-type seating, of course. Every day between 3 and 5 p.m, the whole area becomes the focus of composed, gentle activity, with guests arriving early to secure a table for the formal afternoon tea, whilst being entertained with live music, either on piano or guitar or strings. The choice of teas is mesmerizingly wide, including ones with names which are as interesting to read as they are to taste. Gunpowder, Lapsang Souchong, Chinese Oolong, Lemon Black, and the South African tea I can never remember how to pronounce. Okay, I looked it up. It's Rooibos. But I'll forget that again. As well as the huge choice of teas, the food selection varies every day. We love that you can even see the afternoon tea menu for every day in advance, so you can choose the ones that will tempt you the most. There is a plate of sandwiches, a plate of scones served with cream and jam, and a plate of cakes and sweet treats. Have we told you yet that all of Viking's dining options are included in the price of your cruise? There's just no excuse not to try them all then, including this afternoon tea. The main pool locality includes these side lounging areas featuring outwardly facing sunbeds and these beautiful windows which electrically lower, and you'll not be able to tear yourself away from the fresh sea air and that endless view. Well, until lunchtime, and where better to minimise your walk between your sunbed and the nearest food than the pool bar and pool grill. The pool grill is located at one end of the main central pool and offers plenty of seating, both at tables and on bar stools. The retractable pool roof makes this an all-weather venue, although it is nicer when the weather is warm and the roof is off. This venue is only open for lunch from midday until late in the afternoon. The food on offer is the grill-type fare, naturally, such as burgers, hot dogs and steak baguettes, as you can see on the menu here. The food here is very good, but we would have liked to have seen more vegetarian options on the heavily meat and fish-based menu, like a halloumi burger and one of those plant-based burgers that are all the rage at the moment. There is also a self-service salad bar, though obviously when we were there during the pandemic, the staff were plating it up for you. This is the perfect place to enjoy a late lunch if you are out on a longer morning excursion. While we're on the pool deck, the World Cafe is an open kitchen buffet restaurant located at the aft of the ship that incorporates a lovely double-height bar located at the back, which leads out onto the splendid Aquavit Terrace, complete with dining tables to enjoy your meal al fresco if the weather allows. You could say it's 3 venues in one. The World Cafe is beautifully appointed with nice tableware laid out on every table and wonderful glass sliding doors all around the exterior of the buffet, which can be opened up to the wraparound outside terrace. There are food stations on either side of the buffet, both of which are usually open to prevent congestion, and whilst much of the food is the same on both sides, there are some differences, such as the ice cream station located on the port side. At breakfast time, the range of food is plentiful and delicious, with the usual hot and cold choices, as well as some Danish specialities, such as the wonderful waffles and the most delicious cinnamon buns in the world. If the weather is nice, it's lovely to take your breakfast out onto the Aquavit Terrace and enjoy the wake view. So the final buffet is an Indian buffet, and oh my goodness, look at that. And Helen found the dosas, which is quite unusual for an Indian buffet to have dosas. She was well happy with that. I don't know what I've got here, but I'm going to get tucked in. Oh! At lunchtime there are a range of offerings including themed lunches relevant to the location you are visiting. We particularly enjoyed the Indian-themed lunch, and no, we didn't go to India, but as we were stopping off in Cornwall, there was some Cornish goodies to be sampled too. At lunch and dinner time there are wine and beer options to go alongside the soft drinks, available free of charge throughout the day. Evenings in the World Cafe are relatively quiet. No wonder with all the other wonderful venues on offer throughout the ship, and we're getting to them, don't worry. But the food is a cut above most other buffets we have experienced, with, can you believe it, a melt-in-the-mouth Chateaubriand on offer one evening. There is a sushi bar available every night, and often a theme for the evening, with the seafood buffet being one of the popular highlights of the evening's offerings in the World Cafe. Indoors or outdoors, the World Cafe is all things to all guests. Simply, it's the best buffet restaurant we've had the pleasure to experience. So today is a sea day, and it's not, it's okay, but we are sort of in Scotland, so I'd expect a little bit of North Atlantic business, but we have decided to go for ensuite breakfast, room service. I mean, look at that. That's as good a room service breakfast I think we've ever seen. Now, we can't do a full and complete dining guide without including room service. Viking do room service very well indeed. There's plenty of space to lay the food out on the large coffee table, and the food is just as good as you would get in the restaurants. The breakfast menu is very comprehensive and offers a range of hot and cold dishes along with strong, hearty coffee that really hits the spot. Room service is complimentary and the food is delicious, delivered promptly and is very well presented. Immaculate almost. Not all cruise room services are created equal. Some are good, some are absolutely terrible, and a few, like Viking's, are exceptional. The printed room service in your stateroom has enough tempting variety on it to get you salivating after a busy shore excursion. It's a perfect accompaniment to a quiet night in, or after a few twilight rounds in the Explorer's Lounge, the midnight munchies. The culinary big hitters are coming next, but first a quick word about the living room, situated at the bottom of that huge muscular staircase in the central atrium. Built into the bar, the living room has a small cafe-style counter offering light dishes and snacks throughout the day, starting with a range of delicious pastries and muffins in the morning before moving on to sandwiches and cakes later in the day and sweet treats in the evening. It's easy to miss, but now we've made you aware, those cakes will be calling you. Further along from the living room on the same deck is Manfredi's, one of two complimentary but bookable specialty restaurants on board Viking ships. In a nod to Viking Cruises founder Torstein Hagen's friendship with Silver Sea Cruises founder Manfredi Lefebvre, this restaurant offers traditional Italian cuisine in a homely trattoria setting. You need to stop and admire the photographs adorning the walls though, they are certain to bring a smile to your face. Guests are all guaranteed at least one visit to this restaurant on their voyage, which is bookable in advance of their cruise, depending upon the room category booked. Once on board, there may be the option to book other dates, depending on availability. The food is delicious and the menu so vast, we could have come back here half a dozen times and still had dishes we wanted to try. From the dishes we did get to try, a special mention has to go to the amazing bread basket and the delicious gnocchi, along with guest favourites ossobuco and bistecca fiorentina. The wines match the food perfectly, and for guests who purchase the Silver Spirit drinks package, there are more premium wines to choose from. Our advice? Make sure you're hungry for this Italian feast. I'll quickly mention the kitchen table, even though due to COVID, Viking were not offering this on voyages, but I'll quickly mention what the website says about it. Immerse yourself in local culture and cuisine in an optional, interactive culinary journey. At Viking's Onboard Cookery School, experience firsthand how the ship's world-class chefs bring distinct local flavours from market to table. There. Maybe next time we'll experience it. Let's hope so. Back to the food now, and Viking's main restaurant is a more refined affair, with the main dining room being divided up into smaller sections, giving the whole dining experience a more personal feel than some of the main dining rooms on ships this size. The restaurant spans the entire width of the aft of the ship, and with the galley being situated in the middle of the room, you can't see from one side of the ship to the other. But many of the tables are located around the edge of the restaurant, so there are plenty of tables with a sea view. The dining team try to seat guests in the same area of the restaurant so that the waiting team can get to know you and the service is attentive and more familiar. The food in the restaurant is excellent, with plenty of choices, and although we didn't get to eat here very often, we enjoyed every dish we chose. The restaurant is also open for breakfast and lunch when it offers food options not available in the World Cafe and provides a more refined, quiet and leisurely dining experience. The breakfast menu is vast, offering all sorts of breakfast cuisines, from American and English breakfasts to Asian congee, Creole omelettes and country-style breakfast platters, all served with Mamsens' very own condiments. Dinner is just as varied and delicious, including regional cuisines and always available classics, enhanced with locally sourced ingredients. Calling the restaurant Viking's main dining room is to do it a disservice, because that assumes the specialty dining is superior, and we don't think it is. Overall, it's the most elegant and convivial places to eat, and the temptation to eat here every day for every meal is strong. But then you'd miss the others. What a dilemma, eh? Last but no means least, and thank you for making it this far, we present to you the Chef's Table. Chef's Table is the other specialty restaurant and offers a multi-course tasting set menu matched with perfectly paired wines and a different themed menu on offer each evening of the voyage, so guests can choose which menu they would like to try and book for that particular evening. For every dish presented, the server will describe the ingredients and flavours, and the sommelier will present the wines that pairs with these flavours, which again, if you have purchased the drinks package, will be from the premium wine menu. We were lucky to try 3 different menus. Want to know what they were? Watch on. The Asian panorama menu was our favourite of the 3 menus. We started with a king crab amuse-bouche, followed by delicious lobster and chicken dumplings wrapped in lettuce leaves and dipped in a sweet chili sauce. After a refreshing spicy lemongrass granita was the Peking duck main course, which was unlike any Peking duck we have ever had before, with melt-in-the-mouth duck atop a delicious filled mandarin pancake. To finish the meal, the final course played to my indecisive nature by presenting us with an assiette of 3 East meets West inspired desserts, including 2 of Helen's favourites, cheesecake and creme brulee. From the face of it, this California cuisine menu was probably the menu that excited us the least, but we were wrong. It was a delicious meal with some very clean but intense flavours throughout. We started with a vegetarian amuse-bouche, a dainty sweet potato chip topped with deliciously light apple and rosemary infused creme fraiche. The starter was a crispy crab cake sandwiched between a bed of avocado and a refreshing coleslaw. After a boozy Moscow Mule granita came the star of the menu, seared halibut served with a delicious herb vinaigrette and cauliflower crumb and decorated with a rocket salad. The dessert was equally as light and refreshing as the rest of the meal, pairing orange and ginger in a delicate parfait. As we were sailing on a round Britain cruise, it was lovely to see a home comfort menu with some great British favourites on it. This menu started with an amuse-bouche, giving a modern twist to a Scotch egg using a quail's egg served with a salad and pickle. The starter was a firm British favourite, fish, chips and mushy peas, which, although delicious, was a rather large starter dish, especially when it was followed up with a hearty plate of beef brisket and a mini Yorkshire pudding. Make sure you come to this meal hungry, especially if you want to fit in the delicious Wim Wam dessert, a tumbler full of creamy, cakey fruitiness. Well, we've really only scratched the surface of what Viking Ocean ships offer here. Honestly, you'd need a month on board to properly savour what's on these menus. Viking excel in their dining experiences, and in over 40 cruises we've taken to date, very few have been better than this. We can't wait to come back and try more. Speaking of trying more, why don't you click these links here and continue your discovery of the beautiful world of Viking Ocean ships? Thank you.